Hey, fourth grade. Today we're going to be working on problem set 8. And if you remember, you will know it's problem set 8 by looking up here because it will always say lesson 8 problem set, but we just call it problem set 8. All right, so don't forget to write your name on your problem set. And today we're going to be using a place value rounding math. Always our goal is always going to be down here at the bottom though. Lesson 8, and our goal is always down here printed. Round multi-digit numbers to any place using the vertical number line. So the vertical number line, that's this little symbol right here. Vertical means it's going up and down. Well, that is our strategy. It's how we're going to be solving our math for today. So, let's go ahead and read the directions. Complete each statement by rounding the number to the given place value. So each one of these problems, it's going to give me the place value I need to round in. Use the number line to show your work. All right, so number 1, it says 53,000 rounded to the nearest 10,000. So 10,000 place, well, that 5 is in the 10,000s place. So I know that I am going to start right here with 50,000. Well, I'm thinking of my number line. So if I think of a number line like when I was a younger student, I would say 5, 6. Okay, so now I know that my next bounce up would be 60,000. Okay, then I've got to think, well, what would be right smack dab in the middle? Well, that would be 55,000. Okay, so it's a little tricky because I'm now thinking of the nearest 10,000 place. So it went from 50 to 60. Well, what would be right in the middle? 55,000. And then I'm going to take my number that the math problem gave me, round to the nearest 10,000. So I'm going to figure out, well, does my number go in this chunk or does it go in this chunk? So it's going to either go here somewhere on the number line or here somewhere on the number line. All right, so I'm going to look at my number. Well, when I count on a number line, I'm thinking this: 50, 51, 52, 53. So I've hit my 53, 54, and here is 55. So I know that my number is going to go somewhere right here. Okay, so is 53,000 closer to 50,000 or is it closer to 60,000? And I know that my answer is definitely closer to 50,000. So I'm going to write 50,000. Now I'm using ink so it shows up in my video. All right, so you have to be very, very, very careful because this one says round to the nearest 100,000. So that means I'm going to start with 200,000. Well, if I'm counting, what would be my next number? Let's see, 2, 3. So up here, I know that my number is going to be 300,000. What would be right in the middle? 250,000. So I have to decide, where would this number land? Would it be in this chunk or this chunk of the number line? Okay. Down here, 42,708, rounded to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so my nearest 10,000, well, that's where my 4 is in this number. So I know that I'm going to start with the 40 here. Well, what would my top number be? So I'm going to think 4, 5, what would my top number be? So I'm going to put a question mark there because I want you to think about it, and then I want you to think about, well, what would be right smack dab in the middle? Okay, right here it says round to the nearest 100,000. So 100,000 is where this first 4 is. So I know that I'm going to start with 400,000. Well, when I count on a number line, I'm thinking 4, 5. So what number would be up here? What number would be right in the middle? Okay? Go ahead and look at this one. See, 406,823 rounded to the nearest 10,000. So nearest 10,000. Okay, well, this one's kind of tricky because my 10,000s place is actually where that 0 is. So I'm going to start with a 400,000. So if I start with a 4 and a 0, my next number would be a 4 and a 1. My next number would be 4 and a 2. But I'm thinking, what would be on a number line if I was thinking 40, what would be my next number? Okay, so I'm going to put a question mark there because I want you to think about it. See? Oh, I see. I've been going from left to right, but really it was down and down. Oops, my bad. All right. So this one, it says 964,103 rounded to the nearest 100,000 place. So I have to think, well, that 9 is in my 100,000 place. So I know I'm going to start with 900,000. Well, if I have 900,000 and this number has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, what will my next number be on the number line? So if I do 9, well, the next number would be 10. So I know that my number up here has to have 10. And then I have to bring back in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this number up here, I am going to add in those commas, is going to be 1,000,000. So where would this number fall? Is it going to be in this chunk or this chunk? And of course you have to go back and find your middle number. What would be right smack dab in the middle on that number line? Okay, I'm going to turn the page. There is a back. Don't forget to do the back. Let's do a few of these together. It says 975,462 songs were downloaded in one day. Round this number to the nearest 100,000s. So if you remember in class, we've talked about the bossy neighbor. So if I write this number 975,462 and I'm rounding to the nearest 100,000s, well, I'm actually going to be paying attention to the bossy neighbor next door, which is a 7. And you know, if it's 5 or higher, we round up. If it's 4 or lower, it's going to round down. Okay? That means all of these numbers will drop into zeros. So let's see. This bossy neighbor happens to be a 7. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to draw my strategy. My strategy is the place value number line. Okay. I'm going to start with 900,000. Well, 900,000, that means the next bounce on the number line would be 1,000,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what would be right in the middle? Okay. Then I've got to think, where does this number fall? And I know that this number is going to go somewhere in this section. Definitely somewhere in this section. So it's closer to 1,000,000. So I could say in one day there were about 1,000,000 songs downloaded. Let's see, let me make sure I have the right zeros. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yep. Songs downloaded. All right. So let's go ahead and go through all of the things that you're going to need for the next problem. This number was rounded to the nearest 10,000. List the possible digits that could go in the thousands place to make this statement correct. Use a number line to show your work. So this is the number you're looking at, okay? So I know that I need to start with, right here, I need to start with 130,000. Well, if I start with 130,000, then I'm going to end on my number line with 140,000. I know right here in the middle would be 135,000. Okay? So now I have to think about all of the possible digits that could go in the place value to make this statement true. So now I'm thinking, well, what did this statement say? So I have this number missing, but it says, we don't know this number. And then it gives you this wavy line, which means about 130. So do I need to find all of the possibilities in this chunk, or do I need to find all the possibilities in this chunk? So, I got to think about that. Would this number be able to be in this chunk or this chunk? Okay? And then I have to give all of the possibilities. So that means it's going to have multiple correct answers. All right, let's move on to number 5. Number 5 says, all right, so for number 5, it says estimate the difference by rounding each number to each given place value. So I am going to have to round. I am going to have to think of my place value. Okay, so this first number they give me, I have to think, is it closer to 710,000 or 720,000? Because I'm thinking of my round to the nearest 10,000s. I'm thinking of my 10,000s place. So right here in the middle would be 15,000, 715,000. So I know that this number is going to fall right here in 712,350. So I know it's closer to 710,000 minus, well, now I have to do the same for this second number. So is it closer to 340,000 or is it closer to 350,000? Okay. Well, what would be right in the middle? 345,000. So I know my number is going to go here. It's closer to this number. So minus minus, I should have given myself a little bit more space, minus 340,000. 340,000. So what would my final answer be there? Okay, I still need to find my answer. Now I'm going to round to the nearest hundreds place. So, looking at my hundreds place, hundred thousands place, I should say. So this one would be 800,000. What would be in the middle? Is this number closer to here or closer to here? I think it's closest to 700,000. Okay. Minus, and I've got to do the other number. Is it closer to 300,000? Or is it closer to 400,000? What would be right in the middle? 350,000, 350,000. And I know that my number is going to be somewhere in here. So I'm going to subtract. What would my answer be? Remember, I still have to find my answer.